Assalamu alaikum students. I am Mr. Tariq with the subject of physics class 11th. Unit we are going to start is mathematical tools. Okay, so let's start. Here is the first point to discuss is quantity. It's a simple thing to know. Quantity is the thing which can be measured. Like here it is mass, length, time, temperature, pi, and etc. So anything in the universe which can be measured is called as quantity. Okay, value of pi, value of e, these are all quantities, right? Now let's move to the types of quantities. Here are five important types of quantities. First two are on the basis of magnitude, and next three are on the basis of magnitude as well as direction. Here are the two important types of quantities on the basis of magnitude. It is first one is constant quantity, next one is variable quantity. Then on the basis of magnitude as well as direction, we have these three important types. First one is scalar quantity, then there is vector quantity and tensor. So in general we can say there are five important types of quantities: um, constant quantity, variable quantity, scalar quantity, vector quantity, and tensor. Now let us take first one. It is constant quantity. Constant, the thing which doesn't change during the operation. So here it is a definition of constant quantity. A quantity whose value does not change during mathematical operation is called as constant quantity, right? For example, pi value of pi is always 22 over 7, so it's a constant quantity. Value of e, which we call as Euler's number, its value is like this. Value of mass of earth, these are all constant quantities, examples of constant quantities. Let me repeat: constant quantity is that quantity whose value doesn't change during mathematical operation, right? Then next one is variable quantity, and variable, whose value changes. Then we say the variable quantity is that whose value changes during the mathematical operation. Here I has taken some let me go to the representation of these variable quantities. We mostly represent variable quantity by x's, y's, z's, etc. Here is an example of variable quantity. This is an equation, but here are variables, right? For example, y is equal to 2x. If I take value of x 0, we get 2 into zeros are 0, that is y is equal to 0. If I keep value of x as 3, I get y is equal to 2 3s are 6. So here x is a variable quantity, right? Other three types which were on the base of, here it is magnitude and direction, that is scalar, vector, and tensor. These things will be discussed in the unit where these we have, face these three important quantities. Here we have to work only with these two quantities, that is constant quantity and variable quantity, which I discussed over here. Okay, now next thing we have to discuss is function. Okay, when one value y depend upon other value x through some relation, then we say that the first value y is the function of the next value x. Okay, I have represented y is equal to f of x, so we say here y is the function of x. F here doesn't mean f into x, but f represents only function. Let me repeat it: function. When a variable y depend another depend upon another variable x, okay, then we say first variable, that is y, is the function of the next variable x. Okay, let me give here an example. For example, if we take an ice ball, then the size of this ice ball depend upon the temperature. It is clear that with the temperature its size goes on decreasing, right? So we say that size of the ice ball is function of temperature, because the size of the ice ball changes with temperature, changes with increase in temperature. I can write here like this. Let me write. I may write size is function of temperature. If I will keep it into symbols, I can write here S is equal to F of T, right? So here it is size of ice ball is function of temperature. This is an example which we see in daily life. So now let us understand it more by taking types of the function. See, here are types of the function. First type is linear function. Okay, let me take an example, then we can understand this. This change or increase in age of a child with the age of his father. For example, if we say child is 5 years old as now, and his father is 20 years old, then after 1 year child will be 6 years old and his father will be 21. Okay, after 5 years child will be 15 years old and his father will be 25 years old. So we say that this situation is an example of linear function. Okay, so here is this representation of linear function. Y is equal to a plus bx. When one variable changes with next variable with a linear line like this, then we say that this situation is an example of linear function. Here is the mathematical system for it. See, y is equal to 2x. It is an example of mathematical example of linear function. Okay, let us give different values. I have given here value 0, 0 into 2 zeros are 0, it comes here. Use value of x as 1 here, x1. Okay, then if we use here 2 ones are 2, here it is 2. If we use value of here this x as 2, it becomes 2 2s are 4. By using value of x as 3, we get value of this this linear equation as 6. So by changing value of x, there is a change in value of y, but the things change uh, after equal intervals. Then we say this equation or this situation is an example of linear function, and the graph is always a straight line like here. And next example of it is Ohm's law, which we have studied in 10th. The relation between that current and voltage, there comes to be a straight line. Then we say that equation of Ohm's law is also a linear equation. Now next one is exponential function. See here, before moving to the definition, let us move to the graph. Here, see, this is a curvature. Okay, when this type of graph comes when this type of graph arises, we say it is example of exponential function, and its mathematical form is y is equal to a raised to power x, where a is the positive number. Always it should be positive, and this a is called as base number. Let me take an example over here. Y is equal to 2 raised to power x. See, by using different values of x, we got y as this 2 raised to power x like this. See the difference between above table and the lower table. Here it is by using 0 0 1 2 2 4 3 6. Here is something different. 0 0 is same as above, 1 2 is again same as above, 2 4 is same as above, but from then the things abruptly change. This by giving value 3, I got 8 here. If I use 3, 2 raised to power 3 comes to be 8, but here it was at the value of 3 it was only 6, and at the value of 4 it will be 4 2s are 8, but here see, it is at the value of 4 it comes to be 16. Means it is an, what we say, that like that of a chain reaction, abruptly change. Okay, so this is example of exponential function. There is no equal interval, here comes, but in linear there is the change by equal intervals, and the graph here is a curved line, right? Let us take an example of it. See, in the recent days we are seeing, or in these incoming days, in these present days, we are seeing the spread of coronavirus. It is not this change is not a linear type, equal interval type, but it is that we call as that chain reaction type spread. So spread of coronavirus is an exponential function because there is an abrupt, or we say chain based increase. When there is such condition, we call this function as exponential function. Okay, let me repeat it. Difference between linear function and this exponential function is like y is equal to a plus bx, and here it is y is equal to a raised power x. So here the things change by sample addition. and here the things change by multiplies. This is an important and a big difference between the two. Here the things change by simple addition, and in exponential the things change by multiplication factor. Okay, here is an abrupt increase, but here is a linear increase. Okay, here are two other types of this function. First one is trigonometric function, which we see mostly in metric mathematics. That y is called sin x, tan x, and etc. Other is logarithmic functions, which we have seen in ninth classes, and we have worked upon these functions a lot in the previous classes. So this was all about the function and their types. I hope you would have got the things, and if not, repeat the video, repeat the class. Inshallah you will get it. Okay, so assalamu alaikum.